Let me bring in Eddy on this. Eddy, direct question. Do you still want Sifuna out?
The reason why I gave the party a chance on the issue of dialogue is that the question that I raised about Sifuna was a question of very serious leaders of ODM warring. I like the way Mkwanja has put it, right? There's definitely factions in the party that are in the two extremes, and they are warring. This is the truth. And that warring character, you only solve it in the wisdom of our party leader, which he said, by enabling a dialogue conversation. It's not a personal issue of, do you want the Sifuna out? I want the SG of ODM. You must separate these two. Sifuna, the person, is a very good friend of mine. My colleagues here will tell you that Sifuna and I actually sit in the same, if it was school, we call it desk mate. We sit in the same row and we consult a lot in terms of what is going on in our party. And it's a personal friend. The problem I had was the SG of the party who has a double speak on issues. Because if you go and commit us to broad-based government, you put a document with which you must assess with government. You put a committee that must be able to ensure that there is something like compensation. There is something like review of NADCO. Today, as your party member, I must follow that. And then tomorrow, you go and bastardize all this that you have said. I am left confused. That was the simple issue that I was raising, that it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed in such a way that it allows that when you go to the NDC, we are one voice. And that's why I said that I stood down my issues that I raised so that it is a dialogue issue, because it was not a personal issue. It was questioning the party positions issues that tend to show to the public that, one, the structures of ODM are not honoring themselves, right? In the sense that when a position in ODM, when the chair lady Gladys Wanga speaks as Gladys Wanga, I don't have a problem. But when she speaks like the chair of ODM, she's speaking for me. She's speaking for party members. Right now, Dr. Oburu Odinga has spoken as the party leader, reading a statement which ordinarily should be read by the Secretary General of the party.
Who did not show up in the meeting.
If he recants this kind of position, I will have a problem with him. Because we are supporting that position based on the fact that it came from the organ of the party. So when the organ of the party speaks, we must separate those two. Yeah. You know, some people have confused this thing that, oh, is it the person Sifuna? Or, no, it is the Secretary General of the party that we must question and make sure that even the party leader and the chair lady of the party, when they speak as a party, and we must be able to have one voice going forward. However painful this is, we must force this dialogue and we must force this conversation to go on. But that said, I must tell Joe Nyutu that it is not me making the DCP party small. The DCP party is small. In fact, when Mkwanja called it emerging, or not emerging, emergence is a function of maturity. So Mkwanja is even calling it immature, and I believe it is. Do you know why it is immature? Because DCP, number one, ideologically it is formed on the base of tribal. You cannot compare DCP with ODM, that is a national party, not a tribal party. That is why Nyutu is so confused that his membership is in UDA, his party leader is Ruto, and he's there taking sacraments in DCP. He's so confused because he finds it convenient to be in a tribal party, which has been formed by a tribalist. Why are we not talking about other leaders in Central Kenya as tribalists? There are so many Central Kenya leaders. Martha Karua is in the opposition. Have you ever heard about us talking about Martha Karua as a tribalist? No. Uhuru Kenyatta is a Central Kenya leader. Have you ever seen us calling him tribalist? No, we are not. Moses Kuria is from the Central. Have you seen us calling him tribalist? There are many I can mention. But this is a tribal party. A cocoon that believes that this country can only work when you balkanize Luos into a region and call them Luos and form for them their party. When you balkanize Kikuyus into one region, we want a country that functions without tribalism in this country. And it's long time it ends. And you can see the way they're hiding on it, even when Joe Nyutu talked about goons. Was Joe Nyutu not in a function at Gakuya's parents' funeral when he and Rigade had their own goons beating a woman? Did he even condemn it? We saw this thing in this country, where a woman is being beaten by goons, right? And that's why his so-called padri who is in this DCP party, did not comment about the goons he's talking about. Did you see Gachagua condemning these goons he says that were harassing them the other day? No, he didn't, because he had his own goons and he has committed to it, chasing these other goons. So these are politics that must end. This tribal politics. In fact, if ODM is going to negotiate with people like DCP, I am not supporting my party leader. This negotiation that is going on must be with UDA and other like-minded parties that are trying to unite Kenyans.
So DCP is where you draw the line?
DCP, I draw the line. Because I cannot afford to associate with a tribal party. Any party from Mount Kenya we can work with that is not tribal, that has got mature ideology. And I like Mukwanja because the maturity of UDA, apart from other indices, the maturity of DCP, the maturity of ODM, the maturity of UDA, and any other party must be based on ideology that can be able to unite this country. And DCP shows us the worst. Leave alone the fact that it doesn't have any MP, it doesn't have any senator, it doesn't have any governor. In fact, if Nyutu was a man of principle, he says that there's no principle in politics. Yes, there are. Raila Odinga was a principled man. His followers like me are principled. We bring our issues in a principled manner. He might not have principle, but if he had principle, he could have gone and resigned from UDA, vied in DCP, and give it some breath, and not masquerade about this tiny party that they keep on masquerading around and confusing Kenyans on the basis of tribalism.
Okay, let me hear what Nyutu has to say in reaction to this. And in all fairness, I think during the burial of Alice Gakuya, the mother to Embakasi North MP James Gakuya in Murang'a, I saw Joe Nyutu trying to protect Lamu woman representative Monica Mudhoni, who was being attacked by several people there. You were there on the camera, but still, he raises a good point that she was still kicked out by the same goons who you allege that some of them are from this other side. But let me hear your reaction to what Eddy said.
Thank you, Trevor. And I may want to plead for some more time because, of course, Eddy and Sigei have directed their anger that they collected the whole of last year at me. So it would only be fair.
There's no anger.
I keep quiet as you are disparaging me and my boss, Rigathi Gachagua. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to come and discuss, to respond to some, of course, unfounded allegations, especially from Eddy. He says that DCP is small and tribal, unlike ODM. I was very keen to hear from him say what makes DCP tribal, other than what he hears William Ruto say for his convenience, to deal with his greatest nightmare. And I want to tell you, Trevor, that Rigathi Gachagua is Ruto's greatest nightmare. And that is why people like Eddy, who are actually in ODM, have been recruited to do nothing else other than, mudslinging, disparage Rigathi Gachagua. And anything that happens, by the way, Eddy and the governor for Homa Bay in particular, Gladys Wanga, and one Junet Mohammed, who has been exposed for what he is. And that is the only thing I like with what is happening in ODM. That now people who have been used, who has been dogs for hire, sorry to use that word, I mean guns for hire, that's a better word, guns for hire to attack Rigathi Gachagua, even for no good reason, now are exposed. That they are the people who actually cost ODM a win in the last general election because they consumed or they actually embezzled the monies that were meant to be for agents. And that is why you have not had Junet Mohammed speak about anything else. But anyway, to get back to the point, people like Eddy, what has he presented as a learned man, a learned person, making allegations on a national TV? What has he stated as his reasons for calling Rigathi Gachagua and DCP tribal? Has he done any search? And I would challenge him to do that because I know he has his online there. Check. And he keeps talking about the organs of the party when he's talking about ODM. Will he check and report back here who the officials of DCP are before he calls DCP tribal again? Tell us the officials of DCP who come from Mount Kenya. How many are they compared to those that come from other regions? And while at that, tell us where Kisa East Ward, where DCP won, is. Tell us where Narok Town is, where DCP won. And tell us where Kariobangi, I think North is, where DCP won another ward seat. Because we cannot allow people like Eddy, who are acting for President Ruto, to come here and make allegations that they cannot prove. Just call somebody tribal because you heard William Ruto call him tribal. You don't even understand why William Ruto is calling him tribal, but because you are there, you want the goodies that President Ruto has. Now you want to come and disparage the person of Rigathi Gachagua. You know, he says, why are they not calling other leaders from the central region or Mount Kenya region who have parties like Martha Karua? Why are they not calling them tribal? Of course, because their job description is clear. Their job description is not to attack Martha Karua. Their job description is to attack Rigathi Gachagua. And that is why Eddy and the group and Gladys Wanga and everybody will not attack any other Mount Kenya leader as tribal, because that is not within the job description that they have been given by President Ruto. You know, and I'm glad that you observed, the incident at Makomboki Primary School during the burial of the mother of Embakasi North MP, Honorable James Gakuya. You know, sometimes I'm sick and tired when you find politicians just, presenting something and, they just display their ignorance. If you ask Eddy, he did not watch he was not actually following the proceedings there. He just saw some young men and people rising against the Lamu woman representative. He will not tell you what that particular member of parliament did to arrange that. He will not even tell you.
Tell us.
He will not even tell you. It's not my duty to tell you, because you say
the country.
She declared
it's my time. It's my time.
They know,
it's
but
my time.
She declared
it's my time.
Yeah, tell the country.
I mean, this is. I can tell you, Trevor.
Yeah. What did she?
If I'm reasonable.
Yeah.
And I've not been sent by anybody to go and cause a problem somewhere, William Ruto will come to Murang'a, and he does come to Murang'a. I would not be reasonable if I went to William Ruto's meeting in Murang'a and started telling those that are there in his presence that here, or me, even if you are here, I am one term. I'm not two term like you. And even when the crowds, of course, start, are
you serious?
Telling me...
That's your democratic right.
Are we serious?
You should be allowed to air your views without...
Nobody can speak.
He listened to you.
It's my time.
He listened to you.
It's my time.
So let's listen to him.
It's my time.
Shouldn't that be allowed, though?
It's my time.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Different views.
I'm not trying to say that what happened... I'm not trying to say, Eddy, kindly, you can have some debate manners. Kindly. I listened when you are talking about me, not any other person.
You listened.
So,
listen. Shouldn't be.
You must listen.
And then
you must listen. I have not said.
Shouldn't it be allowed?
Trevor, I have not said that what happened was right. And I am happy that you observed what I did to physically shield Honorable Mudhoni from those that were being for her blood. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. What I'm saying is, it's also not good. You have to have a sense of occasion. There is no, for me, if you ask me, there is no need, provoking people, that they say, no, we are one term. No, me, I'm two term. I mean, as a leader,
what's the problem?
What's the problem with that?
That's the
what is the problem with freedom of speech?
I'm just saying.
That's something that your party is lit.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Crowds. Somebody said a mob has no brain. And that is why while
she was one, she was a mob.
Yeah.
What is wrong with Eddy?
No.
Surely.
I want to hear your argument.
The people of Migori are observing. They also need to see you,
Senator Nyutu, focus,
sobering up the way I sobered up.
But when you focus on
please,
this debate,
please,
no.
Wait for your time. But you had your time, Eddie.
Hold on, Eddie.
You had your time, Eddie.
Senator Nyutu,
why cannot you behave?
Focus on your debate.
I mean, why do you enter? I am
Senator
not here
Nyutu,
for a shouting match.
Senator,
my time.
Focus on
wait for your
Senator.
time.
Senator,
you guys
wait for your time.
Senator,
so
focus
anyway,
on your argument.
I know
why
what
is it
Eddie
wrong
does, and I've told you
a
in the
different
past.
position
I
in a
have
crowd
told you in the
perceived
past.
to be on one side? Why is it wrong? That's the argument.
I've told you I know what Eddie does.
Yeah.
He tells me when we are out of here, when you are just about to hit it, I have to. So please control him.
That's what I'm telling you.
I am the people of Migori.
There are things I can't do.
People of Migori.
By the way, Trevor,
hold on, I'll give you a
don't call
chance.
me to
The people of Migori.
It's okay.
If somebody will come here and limit
The people of Migori
in front of the country,
No, allow him
to the extent that they
explain.
beat a woman
That's what I'm
for
asking
speaking
him.
a mind,
Eddie,
you must hold him accountable to that.
Eddie, allow him to explain.
Yes.
Why is it wrong for someone to state a different position, even if the crowd is on one?
That is what I'm trying to explain. But of course, you know, William Ruto has a lot of money. He will give you, when you are given too much
It's
not about William Ruto.
when you don't even want to listen.
Freedom of speech.
So
just answer the question. Why is it wrong
I'm just telling
for someone to state she in a one-term perceived day?
What I'm saying is, it is not right to attack anybody for holding their views. I have not, and if it was right, I would not have gone to protect physically, to shield Lamu woman rep, Modoni. But what I'm saying is, I mean, it's good to have a sense of occasion. I'm just advising, it's good to have a sense of occasion. I mean, you cannot, it's not right also to be like you are getting into a shouting match with somebody said a mob has no brain. As much as we know that it was not right for the mob to behave the way it did, but for you to avoid such a situation, because ideally, if I go to Homa Bay today and think that I can be able to, to convince those members there to leave ODM and maybe to join DCP party in a public rally, maybe I may not gain much. So what I'm saying...
But you should be allowed to try.
Of course you should.
You should be allowed to even ask them to join DCP.
Of course. Agreed.
And nobody should attack.
Agreed. What I'm saying is, that is why we had to protect. Personally, what I did, Senator Medu and I, what we did to physically see to it that that member of parliament was not, touched by anybody. And nobody beat her up. Nobody even touched her. It was just an uproar and that kind of thing. Nobody reached where she was. Of course, we gave her a human shield, and it's fair. But because I don't want to get lost on that, Eddie has said that Rigathi Gachagua did not say anything about the goons that attacked us on Sunday.
Yeah.
I again want to refer Eddie to go and look at the speech that Rigathi Gachagua made in church, because it's important that we be factual. Now he says.
Your time is almost up.
Yes, he says that, yes, and Eddie, that is what Eddie wanted. He says that ODM will not negotiate with the DCP. I want to tell Eddie, DCP has not asked ODM to negotiate with it.
Okay.
Nobody doesn't know the stand of ODM.
Okay.
And not ODM, the faction of ODM where Eddie belongs. But allow me to just say something very quickly that Senator Sigei said, that you cannot compare Rwanda and Kenya. Why I mentioned Rwanda as an example is because it's a very small economy, even geographically, it's a very small country, but it is managing its affairs very nicely.
Okay.
It is actually a country where we should but please, when you get time, allow me to explain Rigi's position on the placement of grade 10 in schools, because I think there are very many, very many allegations being made.
Okay, you'll clarify that. Let me bring in Mukwanja on this. Mukwanja, are we so locked into